Happy worst birthday, everybody. It's Michael Kosta. Thank you for listening. This is very exciting. We're on episode, I should have known this before I pressed record. Can you believe 86 episodes? Can you believe 86 people have worst birthdays? I can. Happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. Don't forget you can listen and watch a lot of these podcasts on worstbirthday.com. Please go to our YouTube page. And plus, subscribe. We're doing video. So that's fun. And as always, you can subscribe on iTunes. And we have a great guest this week. What if I said I didn't? Every week you have to say you have a great guest. And really, I know some of you think it's bullshit, but it isn't, because when you host a podcast, guests are pretty important. And for me, anyone that says yes to me and sharing their life and their worst birthday with me is great. So thank you. So it's always a great guest. This week is Jimmy Pardo. Do you guys know Jimmy from his Never Not Funny podcast, from his many, many years of performing stand-up comedy, from guest hosting Conan? You just know him from fucking everything. You know what I'm really pissed about in this podcast? I forgot to ask him about the video he made with Todd Glass and the gasoline fight that Zoolander stole. I think. I mean, if you go to YouTube and you type in Jimmy Pardo, Todd Glass gasoline fight, you will see a video of them having a gasoline fight at a gas station way before Zoolander did it. But I don't know what happened. He's a buzzsaw, Jimmy Pardo, and you just kind of get wrapped up in him, and I forgot to ask him. Also, it's not called Worst Gasoline Fight Podcast. No, it's called The Worst Birthday. Please go to jimmypardo.com. Please follow him. Please check out his podcast, Never Not Funny, which I have been a guest on a few times. It's really great. He's a great comedy dude. His wife wrote on the show I hosted on E! Called The Comment Section. Danielle Koenig, very funny. Just good people, folks. I want to thank Pidgey Bear, who left an awesome review on iTunes. Subject line, Misery Loves Company, on their birthday. What a great idea for a podcast, thank you. But I like this sentence. Never been a fan of birthdays, so somehow hearing these tales of bad birthdays is therapeutic and downright fun to listen to. I appreciate that. Thanks for a nice review on there, guys. Feel free to leave a review on iTunes, and I'll shout you out. So thanks, Pidgey Bear. I hope I said that wrong. I probably did. I want to thank Jacksonville, the city of Jacksonville, Florida, and the Comedy Zone for having me last week. Very impressed with the comedy crowds there. More intelligent than I would have figured, unless I'm dumber than I would have figured. No, they were great audiences and fun, and we had a great time, and I always enjoy performing in new cities and new venues, and that was a new one for me, and I had a great time. So thank you, Comedy Zone in Jacksonville. This weekend, I'll be all over Los Angeles at the Comedy Store. I will be at the Hollywood Improv. That's it, I think. And then, as with always, all of my dates are at michaelkosta.com. Coming up June 2 through 4, the Laughing Skull in Atlanta. Please come out. Tiny venue. Really fun, really intimate. Tickets will sell very quickly. Laughing Skull in Atlanta, June 2, 3, and 4, maybe even June 1st. It's all on my website, michaelkosta.com. Worstbirthday.com. Let's get to Jimmy Pardo. This is his Worst Birthday, episode 86. Every Thursday, a new episode drops here on the All Things Comedy Network. I'm Michael Kosta. Tweet to me, at Michael Kosta. Email me your worst birthday. We're starting to share these with the guests. I would love to hear about your worst birthday. Michael at michaelkosta.com. Or you can call if you'd rather do it with your voice, which is a thing that people have in their bodies to communicate information. 909-52-WORST. 909-52-WORST. You leave a voicemail under 3 minutes. I will play it for the guests. So if you've sent me emails or given me voicemails and you haven't heard yourself on the podcast yet, it's coming. Relax. We just have a bank of episodes that we've recorded, and I've shared them with some guests, and I've talked about some of them, but those maybe haven't even aired yet. So 909-52-WORST, or email me, michael at michaelkosta.com. We love hearing listeners' worst birthdays because everyone's unique and everyone's has been funny. And one has been really fucking sad that I think we talked about maybe 2 weeks ago where a man's mom died and he fell asleep like where she died and then woke up and saw like her lipstick on the pillow and it's like, ooh, that's a rough birthday. But they're all real. And I hope it brings you some form of entertainment in our lives. Thanks for listening. Here's Jimmy Pardo's Worst Birthday. Don't forget to go to worstbirthday.com to watch the video. I'm Michael Kosta. Without you, no one, there's nothing to do for me. So thank you for being here. Bye-bye. Jimmy Pardo's here, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's a little wobbly.
It's a little flimsy.
And I've noticed since we've started recording video, some of the comments are saying you got a flimsy.
It's flimsy. Is it?
Yeah.
I've also got a little echoey in my headphones. Do I blame the headphones or that, or the sound engineer?
Well, I don't know if you know this about your voice, but you have an echo voice.
The way I speak in general has an echo to it.
Yes. You've always had an echo voice.
I didn't know that. Now let's pretend I didn't.
Yeah.
Why would it be happening right now?
Yeah, like this would be the time. Is it still happening?
Is it the headphones?
Uh-oh, Aaron.
Okay, we'll blame the cans. I say cans as if I'm in show business. Well, you know who says cans? Guys that aren't in show business.
Yeah.
They think it's fun to say cans.
Yeah.
All right, I'm listening.
How many Never Not Funnies have you done?
You know what?
Here we go.
I can answer that for the first time ever.
Really?
Other than one when we started.
Yeah.
We recorded today our 700th episode.
Jesus Christ.
Episode 700 today.
Wow.
And you know what that is, Michael?
Yeah, that's the
cost.
The cost to doing business.
Of doing business. Come on, I love it. It's my favorite thing of yours.
1 minute in, and we already got a cost of doing business.
That shows I'm a fan.
Yeah, that was very nice. Well, your wife wrote on the comment section.
Yes, you did.
You came by quite a bit.
I came by the offices quite a bit. I came to one taping, mainly because I can't. This has nothing to do with you.
No, I'm with you.
Can't stand television tapings.
My mom came into town for a taping, and she wanted me to go see a Mom. You know the CBS show Mom.
Yeah, it's over there on the Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and she's like, "Can you come do a taping?" And I was miserable.
It's the worst.
6 hours. And my mom loves every minute of it. Every fucking minute of it.
You know, we went, two things I'll address that. We went to see the band Chicago, who I've seen over 100 times. That is not a brag. It's just a piece of
100 times, 700 Never Not Funny
That's
episodes.
right.
Yes.
So I took my mother to see Chicago at the Greek maybe 2 summers ago.
Okay.
And I am friendly with the band. I was in their documentary. And so I brought my mother. And they were like, you know what? This is the time we can't have you hang backstage because Al Pacino is here.
Okay.
During our break, they're going to shoot a scene from his new movie. So during the break, Chicago, it's an evening of Chicago. They do like an hour, then a break, and then an hour. So in the break, I forget the name of the movie. It was good. It was actually a good movie. It didn't get what it deserved.
Okay.
It's not called Bobby Collins. That's a comedian. But it's something where he plays an old Neil Diamond sort of singer.
Okay.
And so he had to come out on stage. Pacino.
Okay, got it.
So he comes out and he's doing the song from the thing. And we're all supposed to pretend that we know who he is.
Right.
They're up on the big screens, they put our lines.
Ah, okay.
This lasted 90 minutes.
Isn't that unbelievable?
And I felt like I paid tickets to see a concert.
Yeah.
I brought my mother. Now, the whole thing I'm circling back on, first of all, I felt like I was held hostage.
Yeah, you are.
I don't want, you're taking advantage of me being here.
Yep.
But my mother, who had never been there, she loved it.
She loves it.
She's like, isn't that neat? We got to watch Al Pacino shoot a movie. And I'm like, and you know what? I'd say yes to that if it ended after 10 minutes.
6 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe do it twice. People in the Midwest, you're from Chicago.
That's right.
People in the Midwest, is your mom from Chicago?
Originally, and she lives here now, yes.
Okay. They think show business is amazing.
Yes.
They think, and we are jaded people now.
It's
you call these cans.
I did for ironic. I just took my son to see a taping of our friend Matt Eisenman's American Ninja Warrior.
That seems like that could be fun, because isn't that live?
It is not.
Okay.
And they started 90 minutes late because we had to do 90 minutes of crowd shots. And once again, I was like, then don't tell VIP to be here at 6:30. Tell me to get here at 8.
Yeah.
Because it was awful. It's 90 minutes of me and my son.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be a dick and not be part of that.
And you got to show your son that you're an optimistic person.
Right.
You believe in life and fun, but that would be annoying.
And again, I felt like you're taking advantage of me being here.
Yeah.
I know I didn't pay to get in.
Well, let's talk about when you were doing warm-up at Conan forever and ever. Did you guys do that to
Here's
people?
the beauty. Here's the beauty.
Here's the beauty.
I did warm-up for Craig Kilborn back in 1999 and 2000.
Thank you for saying the whole year out. Like
You're welcome. I love the calendar.
Yeah.
So,
do you also call them the New York Football Giants?
I don't, but I will now.
Yeah, now you have to
because of that. But I do enjoy the Professional Golf Association. Now, know this: when I did it for Kilborn, that was, and I hated every second I was doing it.
Okay,
but I was grateful to have a job.
Jobs are nice.
And I did it for 3. I think I did a total of 3 shows.
Okay,
and after the third one, it was decided mutually that I should not have that job.
Oh my gosh!
And that was the hostage situation where the audience, can I go to the bathroom? No.
Yep.
And they feel like they're...
no, that's not a joke. You can't go to the bathroom.
Right.
Like at Mom, we couldn't go to the bathroom.
And they act, and if they let you go to the bathroom, they act like you're doing you a favor. I'm doing you a favor, you a-holes. So Kilborn was a nightmare. So when they offered me the Conan job, which was the Tonight Show, when Conan moved here from New York, I said, no, I don't want to do it because I don't like doing that. I don't throw candy out. I don't do a dance contest. There's a skill to being that style of warm-up. And they're like, oh, we don't do that. We learn from Letterman. Yeah. You come out, you'll do, at the time it was only 8 minutes. I eventually ended up doing like 20-something minutes because it was fun. But at first it was 8 minutes. I introduced the band. The band plays 2 songs, gets everybody up dancing. Yeah. Time for the show.
That's it.
No commercial breaks, no nothing. And they do commercials in halftime. So going to a Conan taping will, honestly, I mean this sincerely, will be the best experience that you ever have. Yeah. So if that's your first one, you're going to think, you love it. They're all like that.
So you were doing only an 8-minute set?
To start at the Tonight Show.
Okay, and then commercial breaks, you're pop.
No.
Not even?
No.
Wow.
No.
That's a good gig.
Not one commercial break. The longest I ever had to do at the top was 48 minutes.
Okay.
And that's because they sent me out.
It's a long time.
At 4:08.
Yes.
And it was 42 because I eventually at 5. At 4:08, I would go out every day. Yeah. And it was either 4:08 to 4:22, I believe, was the norm at TBS's Conan. And then, but somebody, either a guest was late or there was a tech problem, but I'm already out there. Yeah. So they can't go, hey, let's restart. Yeah. So they just kept telling me to stretch, and I don't care.
Well, and you can do that, right?
I am lucky that I don't write jokes and I can be funny.
Why can you do that?
What?
Why can your brain do that and other comics' brains can't? I mean, every comic can stretch a little, but it really seems like you can do that a very long time.
I can't write jokes. Okay. I wish I could write a joke. I could be funny, and there's
Tell
no
me
better.
What that means. What do you mean you can't write a joke?
I can't. If you told, I'm Michael, I'm very serious. Yeah. If you said to me right now, Jimmy, go and I feel like I've been on cocaine. I can't stop talking.
Yeah. Oh, I'm interviewing you. That's what happens when you interview.
Thank you for explaining the concept. Yes. If you said, hey. And I mean this, if you said, I will give you $1,000 and 1 hour, go to the other room and write me 5 jokes using the first 10 pages of the newspaper, I would come out of there with my head held in shame,
with no jokes?
With no, what?
No jokes?
With none.
Yeah.
With none. And if they would be jokes like, is this guy a professional?
Yeah. Why does this guy have a website?
Right.
So what do you do when you get out on stage? You start asking questions. Is that how it works?
Or I tell a story, and then the stories I tell us like in my standing up comedy. I tell a story about taking the other comic to a movie. Yeah. And that truly should be a 1-minute story, but I make it 9 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
You add flavor to it. Sure. So. I don't want to say I'm like a storyteller. That sounds like I'm making too much out of what I do.
Was that always your goal as a stand-up? No, it was just as time has gone. Because I remember watching you many years ago. I don't even think we knew each other yet. You were doing a set at UCB, and you were trying to do jokes, and you came out and you were getting ready for something. And then halfway through, you said, "This is why I don't do jokes."
Is that right?
And then you started doing what I
do.
Yeah.
And I went, and it probably, if I'm not mistaken, it probably went from getting an okay response to killing.
It went much better.
Yes, because that's what I.
But I think you were getting out of your comfort zone for some reason, for getting ready for something. I don't know what the fuck it was, but so that's just through experience of being a stand-up comic. You've learned to do it that way.
I guess so. It was late 1992 into 1993, and it was actually that very week, that New Year's week, I was in Indianapolis. Yep. A comic by the name of Chris Alpine was the headliner from Seattle, and he, for whatever reason, convinced me he was the guy.
He was. There was a moment that this happened.
There was a moment.
Wow.
Where I had heard up until that, you're the funniest guy off stage.
Yeah.
Start doing this and stop
Right.
doing what you're stop trying to be Paul Reiser. So, and 'cause Paul Reiser's great.
Sure.
But I'm not Paul
Well,
Reiser.
you're not Paul Reiser. You're Jimmy Pardo.
So I would kill off stage.
Yeah.
I'd be the funniest guy in the green room.
Yeah.
So Paul Gilmartin, who's still one of my best friends, he was in my wedding. He would tell me all the time, and eventually he said it the right way, where I felt confident when Chris Alpine was just
Yeah.
like, he dared me to go on stage in Indianapolis and not do my act,
Right.
and to just be me.
Yeah.
And I did it, and I had some moments where it was silence.
Sure.
Then there were moments that I killed, and it was like, you know what, this is
Man.
it.
And
then,
how many years in was that?
that was, I quit my day job in July of '89.
Okay.
So that was what, '89, 3.5 years?
Wow. So, I
and a half
mean,
years, yeah.
so much of stand-up to me is just getting comfortable on stage. And once you're comfortable, then you can actually be you, right? So you got to finally be you after 3.5 years.
The beauty was, like, I was comfortable from the get-go. Like, that's the
Yeah.
one thing I always had going for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So I was a great open micer. I was
Yeah.
a really funny open micer that people would come in to watch.
Sure.
Like, oh, Pardo's up.
Yeah, let's go
And
watch
they,
him.
And they watched me as an open micer, and I would be funny, and I would
Yeah.
take chances, and I'd be in the moment, and I would,
Yep.
I would be like Richard Lewis talking off the top of my head, and I would
Yep.
find the funny. And then once I started getting paid, I felt like, well, now I got to take this seriously.
Right.
And then I socked.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
eventually, like we say, 3.5 years,
You
I
got more
figured it out.
comfortable.
Yeah.
When was your first comedy set? You said it was 89.
No, well, my very first open mic was
Yeah.
in '87,
And where was it?
that was at the Comedy Cottage in Merrillville, Indiana.
Wow.
And I did 3 of them, and then stopped for a year.
Okay.
And I came back in October of '88,
Okay.
and then I committed. And then my first paid gig was March of '89, and then I quit my day job in July of '89.
Are you good with dates in general?
I just kind of remember these because they were landmarks.
Yeah,
you know what I
they were
mean?
big. Yeah,
They were,
yeah.
little posts.
Speaking of dates, when is your birthday?
I don't know the answer
Yeah,
to that one.
that-
I
but
can
what's
tell
so
you my
great-
first stand-up date, but I cannot tell you what day I was born. My parents refused to tell me, and I think it's smart. Save some money.
Yeah, we don't have your birthday.
July 28th.
Okay, all right. That's a Midwest summer baseball birthday. Is that even right? Do you like baseball?
It's America's pastime.
It's-
In
okay.
fact, I was just looking at when I was in my car looking at prepping for my fantasy baseball draft.
Oh, for God's sake! You're one of these.
I love it.
You fantasy baseball.
I love it, brother.
162 games.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
And
love
what do you change every game? You re-put a new roster. I
don't.
don't even know how this shit works.
I have been playing it since I know you like dates since 1992.
Yeah.
I joined, and that league is still going.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Does your son like baseball?
No.
I mean, he likes Star Wars and like science and shit, right?
Yeah, and he's into fencing and golf. Those are the 2 sports he likes.
Fencing?
Yeah.
Can you fence in L.A.?
You can at the Beverly Hills Fencing
Yeah, I
Club,
guess
which
it is.
sounds a lot fancier than
That
it is.
really is. Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
I think Beverly Hills Cop maybe even had a scene at one of those.
Oh,
Is
I think
that
you're right.
Is that right? That's where your son fences. So what were birthdays like for you growing up?
I think they were probably like anybody else's in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know, where
Okay.
you went, the first ones were at home, you
Sure.
know, and
Yep.
you'd had maybe 8 kids over.
How many you're from a big family?
No.
No.
No, I most certainly am not.
Why am I thinking that? I
Do
don't
you think
know.
I'm somebody else?
No, I
Let me
know.
ask you a question. Do you think I'm Jimmy Dore? He comes from a big family.
No, I don't think you're Jimmy Dore. I know exactly who you are.
Do you
Jimmy
think I'm former President Jimmy Carter?
Yes. Yes, and he's had some bad birthdays.
And a brother.
Yeah.
Who had
he have-
some notoriety.
Did he have a bad brother?
Remember, he was drunk.
Ah.
Was it Billy Carter? Was it Billy? The drunken brother?
Aaron will find all this stuff out for us.
He didn't have to look it up. He nodded his head like
you know,
a bobblehead.
Well, he also loves baseball, so he's probably
and the Carters.
baseball and the Carters.
So no, it's just me and my brother Mike.
Yeah, okay.
And he was 2 years younger, so you know we of course were always invited to each other's birthday.
Sure, as you should.
And then we would invite, I think it was more financial than anything else.
Yeah.
You were allowed to invite 8 of your close friends or
Yep.
6 or whatever, depending
Yep.
on what you were doing. And it was like you'd be at home and you'd do the pin and tail on the donkey.
Yep.
And you'd do all
Yep.
those, and
Yep.
and then maybe there'd be cake.
Do you remember being excited about your birthday?
Oh,
yes.
of course.
Yeah, okay.
And it didn't. And back then, it didn't matter that it was just at your house, and
Yeah.
and the same 8 kids that you played with every single day.
Yeah.
Were the same 8 kids coming over, but they dressed up a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so.
And you put your corduroys on instead of your jeans.
I know, corduroys. Do kids even wear corduroys anymore? Huh?
I think hipsters do, not kids.
Yeah, because
right?
I used to have a pair of nice corduroys that my mom would make me put, and this wasn't even the 70s. I mean, this was like 80s. So,
but it was still like that was a way to dress up without putting a suit on.
Yeah,
you put on a button-up shirt with a pair of corduroys, and you look like you're going to church.
Maybe in the Midwest, that's how we would do it. What does your brother do now?
My brother, he is. Rehabbing. He just his collarbone broke, and
shit.
So he's.
But he's not in an entertainment world.
He is not. He is just a guy working in Chicago,
a grown man
living his life.
Was your family a storytelling family? Was where would you get the gift of gab from? Because you have a nice gift of gab, Jimmy.
That could be because nobody else would talk.
Is that right?
No. Although. I did a one-man show back in 2001.
Okay.
And we did it on September 10th, 2001.
Wow.
And night 2 was supposed to be September 12th, 2001. Something, I forget what happened on September 11th,
Not
2001.
great with dates. He's not great with dates.
But something happened that made us not do the second night. I forget what it was. I'll be damned. Aaron, look it up.
How much work goes into a one-man show, and you really just only did one?
Well, we ended up doing it like a month later.
Yeah.
And then... it was...
Oh, fuck. Timing, huh?
But the first night was so great that it was... and there's a reason I bring this up. The first night was so great that it was like, this is great. I can't wait. Nothing can stop us now. Except the greatest tragedy in American history. So the name of that show was Attention Must Be Paid, which was basically... The premise was, no matter what I did in my life, I was never kind of rewarded for it. And the premise being that... I talk a lot because I needed attention. I wasn't getting it. I wasn't good enough to be. I was on the baseball team or the basketball team, but I probably shouldn't have been.
Okay.
So to make up for not being good at it, I would talk a lot.
Sure.
So to answer your question, my dad was a drummer.
Okay.
Peter Criss from Kiss. You familiar with my dad?
Is that your father?
No. And my mom...
You never know in L.A. when someone says...
You're right.
You know what I mean? You never know. But I should have known that was a joke. My apologies to our viewers.
You shouldn't know that. I don't know. I guess my mom...
Yeah.
Everybody talks.
Who was funny in your family? Everybody does talk. Do you have a funny uncle? Because, I think back, my dad is funny. It's annoying. And he embarrasses me, and I don't laugh at it. But other people think my dad is funny.
I used to think my dad's funny. My dad is mellowed as time has gone on. I don't mean that negatively.
Yeah.
And my mom can be funny. There's no doubt. Like my dad went to see Steve Martin in concert.
Sure.
So he loved comedy. And my mother woke me up when I was asleep one night on a Saturday night, and she woke me up to tell me to get up. There's a new show on called SCTV. So she woke me up at 12:30 at night,
awesome.
or midnight, to let me know, hey, something of interest is on.
I mean, that affected your life forever.
Yeah. And she would let me stay up to watch Johnny Carson's monologue. My mom and dad were divorced, so it was my mom and stepdad.
Okay.
I lived with my mom. So during the week, my mom and stepdad would let me stay up to watch the monologue.
Got it.
And then occasionally, if it was a comic that they recognized the name of, which would be like Steve Martin or Pete Barbuti or somebody, they would say, or Robert Klein certainly.
Yeah.
You could stay up and watch a stand-up.
Yeah.
So they were always in comedy. It's pretty amazing.
That's
right?
pretty amazing. It definitely affected you. It also is amazing that the general public was that aware of the comics that were on a late night program.
Well, at least my parents were.
Your parents were, but I feel like people recognize that more then. I mean, I guess that was those were the biggest shows.
Well, I think about the time when my stepbrother Scott said to me once when Letterman came out on Johnny Carson. He came out on the Tonight Show, and he went right to the couch. Yeah. And I remember my cousin, I say cousin, my stepbrother, family. He was, I have to ask him if he even remembers. He had a reaction to it where I don't know if he was annoyed by it because he was looking forward to Letterman doing stand-up,
right,
or if he was impressed, but he went right to couch,
right,
and he was like, oh, somebody isn't doing stand-up anymore,
right,
and it was like, and I remember that being the first time that was something, because he was older than me, that was something like, oh, there's something to that. He doesn't have to prove himself anymore. Now he just goes, but I was a kid.
Yeah.
When that happened.
And the fact that you remember these comments also means that comedy was important to you. I think it's amazing in late night show that they just give the show to someone for 5 minutes. I mean, they just say this is your show now.
Right.
I feel like they don't respect the stand-ups as much as they used to back then on those shows. Maybe it's because there's so many shows. I mean, Conan, it seems like everyone I know has done a Conan spot. It's like,
which is weird because there's still only one comic a week.
Yeah.
So, but it's been on for 6
so
years
long.
now. So that's a lot of 40 weeks a year. So that's 40 a year.
There we go. One of the hardest I've ever seen my brother laugh. I told you this in the comment section offices. I don't know if you remember, but you were warming up the crowd, and I was a guest on the show doing stand-up, and you said, we got a great comic, Michael Kosta's here, and they all clapped, and then you turned to my brother, and you did the jerking off motion, and it was the hardest I've ever seen him laugh. Jeremy Hotz made him laugh really hard once, and that was the hardest I've ever seen him laugh, so it was very, very funny. You were just so genuinely complimentary to me, to the public, and then you were so complete opposite a moment later to my brother, and it was fantastic.
But that also is like, that shows you how comfortable I was at that job.
That's
I was able to be that loose and not be worried about somebody getting mad at me for doing that, or no, maybe they would have been, but I think I did it.
Well, it was to our family, and it was funny. It was for my brother and I. You probably wouldn't have done it if my mom was there. I don't know the answer to that.
Maybe I can tell you I would not have.
Okay.
No, I would have respect for your mother. I know she just sat through Mom.
Yeah, she did have 6.5 minutes or hours of it. What have birthdays been for you as a grown up? I know we communicate. Don't feel like I haven't read the emails we've sent each other, because Jimmy said, "Look, I don't really do birthdays, but I want to get into this because some people do them, and very rarely does someone just not really make a thing out of them."
Look, when you emailed me, and I joke, I didn't. You thought I was joking. I told you.
I kind of did think you were joking.
I've been living in fear of you asking me. There's also people, for whatever reason, people are always afraid to ask me to do their podcast because they think because I've been this podcast pioneer that I'm too good to do them.
Yeah.
And then when I see people doing podcasts, I'm like, well, that jagoff hasn't asked me to do it. And it hurts my feelings. So when you weren't asking me, I'm like, I get along with this guy.
Yeah.
We laugh together. Yeah. Why is he not asking me?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't offer anything because I don't have any exciting birthday stories.
Well, it doesn't need to be a birthday story. It more has to do with your philosophy on birthdays. And
there's a present in front of me with a big sign that says birthday show, whatever the hell the name of this thing is.
700 fucking episodes you did of Never Not Funny today.
Well, we didn't do all 700 today. But
who was the guest? Was there a special 700 guest?
It was just our friend Jen Kirkman, who we love.
Yeah.
Who probably has some wonderful birthday stories.
And do you try to book like birthday stories? Do you try to book like special guests for because that would be. Are you still?
That would be smart business.
Are you still enjoying podcasting?
I hope it never ends.
Yeah, okay.
I love it.
I mean, you actually can make a living from a podcast.
We have made a living. Yes.
How do you do that?
My co-host Matt Belknap and I.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun show.
It's. Thank you.
Yeah, and how many you will do them forever? You think?
I will do it until they tell me not to do it.
And how many are you doing a week?
We do 2 a week.
Okay, and where can our listeners listen to it?
Are we done?
No, we're not done.
Nevernotfunny.com. Seems like a quick wrap-up. Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot. You're the guy with no birthday stories. Where can they hear you?
I try to get the plugs in there organically.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
What do you do for your son's birthday? Now,
we're
talking.
Hey, God, let me tell you about my adult birthdays.
Yeah, let's tell you about your adult birthdays.
I haven't done anything. I think for my... I don't know how old I'm going to say I am on this show.
You can say whatever you want. No one's listening.
I'm going to bump everything down 10 years. For my 30th birthday, we went to just a small group of friends and I and my wife put it together. We went out for pizza and just had a nice time.
Where'd you go?
We went to a place called Baroni's in Sherman Oaks, California.
Are you a pizza guy?
I love it.
Okay, so what do we do for pizza in L.A.? Because people just crush this city with its saying
it's
terrible pizza. Yeah,
it is.
It's horrible pizza.
Baroni's is a square pan pizza. It's and it's delicious.
Okay.
And so we went there for my birthday 10 years ago.
People really hate on L.A. for pizza. I mean,
yes.
I'm telling this to the people that are watching. It gets just annihilated for pizza. But great tacos.
Because it's horrible.
It's bad. But why? Why is it so bad?
I'm told by pizza people who have, from Chicago, who've wanted to open up here, that it has to do with the water. And that the cheese and it can't mix the same way.
Is that true? Because I've heard that water thing too. Also,
I listen.
Maybe Aaron can Google that and find out if there's any possible truth.
Aaron shouldn't have to.
No, he shouldn't have to do that.
Rabbit hole.
So that was a nice 30th birthday.
That was yes, and that was the birthday that my quick side story. My friends. My friend Mike Schmidt and my wife went in together to buy me a Alan Bannister.
Okay.
Who played for the White Sox for a number of years.
Okay.
A Alan Bannister game-used jersey.
Wow.
And it was up for auction. And I kept on commenting, wow, I'm bidding on this Alan Bannister jersey, and somebody keeps outbidding me, and I don't understand why. Who the hell else wants an Alan Bannister jersey?
Oh, my God.
So eventually, they had to come clean, and they go, it's us.
Stop bidding.
Stop bidding. You're bidding us up, your own wife. So they got me that. They overspent on an Alan Bannister jersey because of me.
Yeah.
But that was a very nice present.
That's a good gift.
He was my favorite player growing up, was Alan Bannister.
And where is that jersey these days?
Oh, it's in a closet on a hanger, not being seen by the public eye. I wore it one time, somebody went, nice jersey, jerk, and I was like, who's Bannister?
Seems like that would be a nice thing to frame and put up in an office somewhere, Jimmy.
It would, but my wife and I share an office, and there's already enough Styx in Chicago and Journey signed album covers on the wall. She doesn't need one more stupid thing of mine. So that was that birthday.
That's a good one.
And then, because I don't really do birthdays, I just had a big birthday.
Yeah.
And my wife said, would you like to have a birthday?
Yeah.
And I said, let's go to Baroni's again.
Nice.
But we invited, it ended up being 50 people.
Wow.
And it was friends of mine like my friend Marietta came, who I dated back in 1985.
Wow.
She came, and we're friends to this day. She and her husband, and then my friend Pat Francis, who was my roommate when I moved out here.
Wow.
He and his wife came, so it was, and then people that I then was working with on Conan.
Yep.
So people through my whole life were there.
That's great.
And it was friends, no family, because my family's all back east, and it wasn't about family; it was about friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a great.
Is there somewhere else you need to be at this time, Jimmy?
I turned my phone off as a professional. So that was that, and I loved that party, and it was just friends mingling, and we ordered. I think we ordered too many pizzas.
Yeah, great,
and too much cake. So I think everybody got to take something home.
Small group, although that seems kind of big, but in general, if you want to have a great birthday, what we've learned is lower the expectations. Get people that care about you and love you, and just put everybody in a room.
Well, that seemed to be
it.
And I'll say this, Mike, about that.
Yeah,
the next day. If 50 people came, at least 47 wrote me to thank me for inviting them, and everybody that didn't know other people all said, you really have the greatest group of friends ever. And I mean, and I don't disagree with that. They are a group of people, everybody got along. Yeah. Strangers were meeting strangers.
That's great.
And, that's tough. It's hard to be at a party where you're the person of honor and you got to entertain 48 people, but... it's show business, so you don't have to entertain anybody. They're all, doing their bits.
Yeah, they're all bringing their
Todd
scripts.
Glass is having people chant ice cream. So,
and it's nice that everybody said that to you, because you know that there was at least a handful of people that were like, I don't want to have to go to this birthday party thing tonight. But then they went and they had a great time.
I don't think anybody felt that negative way in advance.
I always feel a little obligated when someone invites me to a birthday party. No? Is this ruining it for you? That maybe some of your friends...
There's no doubt some people did. And by the way, some people couldn't come.
Yeah.
And there's some... This is going to sound horrible.
Yeah.
There's some people that you invite out of obligation.
Yeah.
And then there were some people that I invited that couldn't make it. Yeah. And I was disappointed by 98% of those that couldn't make it. But there were some who were like, that's all right.
Yeah. It's okay.
That's okay. That saves us money.
What do you do? Because I can see your wife saying, look, do you want to do a birthday? I know you don't really do them, but you can't say that to her. You got to do a thing for her.
That's
how it works.
My wife loves her birthday.
They all do.
She does want that day to be.
They all fucking do. I'm not
it
even. It
kind of sounds like you're being like a dude on the docks.
I'm not saying women. I'm saying significant others, your partner in love. Their birthday is important, and you got to do a good job with it.
But what if you both do? What if you both
love it?
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I just take her out to a nice meal.
I've invited a guest on that hates birthdays.
I don't hate birthdays.
No, I'm just kidding.
I just don't understand why every year we, as adults, we have to make a big deal out of it. I don't understand. Like my worst one was, and it's not even my worst, was...
well, at some point it'd be nice if you shared your worst.
Shut up. Hang on. 1996.
Okay.
A Time to Kill was the movie.
Okay.
I was literally going to go to the movies by myself on my that birthday, 1996. And then my roommate, my ex-roommate, we had just found our own way. And he and his girlfriend, Pilar, who is now his wife, they said, what are you doing tonight? And I said, I think I'm just going to go see A Time to Kill.
Time to Kill.
And they were like, well, we're going to do that. Why don't you join us?
Yeah.
So I literally was a third wheel on their date for my birthday.
Do they know it was your birthday?
Of course. That's why they invited me. Sad sack loser.
Yeah, that is sad.
And it was okay, and I was grateful that they invited me.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was also still a drunk back then.
Oh, okay.
I think I would have preferred to just go alone and then drink.
Yeah, I mean, were there definitely? Apparently, you just said you were a drunk. Were there some birthdays where you were probably tossing them back quite a bit because you don't drink now?
I don't drink. 17. Yeah. It'll be 18 years in July.
By the way, another question for you.
Yeah.
I usually bring the guests a bottle of wine, but I didn't do that for you because you didn't drink. But what's the social etiquette on that? Because I wouldn't want to give you alcohol if you don't drink alcohol. But then I'm thinking, well, it's still a gift, and a gift is nice.
I'm not one of those alcoholics that would go,
can't touch it.
Hey, asshole, what are you doing?
Yeah, right.
I would go, hey, that's really nice of you, and then I would bring it home and let my wife enjoy it.
Okay, got it.
Or, quite frankly, I might put it in a closet and go, oh, shit, we need something for that party, and I bring it to those people.
Okay, so I should have brought it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's all right.
Yep.
Your company's enough.
So we were talking about A Time to Kill. How was it?
I loved the book, and the movie was okay.
And what would you say that's the worst birthday that pops out?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure one of my ones in childhood probably broke bad, and I just blocked it out.
Yep.
But I don't remember any...
Were you on the road a lot for your birthdays?
Oh, yeah, I would imagine I was.
Right?
Yeah, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I remember I was somewhere once, and the club got me a cake, which was very nice.
That's nice. I'm curious, because I asked you about doing the road, and you said something that intrigued me, and I forget when it was, but I get lonely out there. You're there for 3 days, but I also don't have a wife and a kid that's making me go crazy and running around doing obligations. So, but you said you kind of like the isolation of the road a little bit, right? You said I do my thing on the road, or I don't know if it's you watch Netflix, but how do you pass the time?
Oh, I will go to a movie alone.
Yep. Sure.
I will. I'll go to. I have this young kid named Ken Schultz opening up for me.
Okay.
Quite a bit now. So Ken and I will go to lunch.
That's nice. If you can bring someone that you like with you. Yeah. That's a big help, huh?
A bit. Yes. Yes. I don't have the question mark of what piece of junk is going to be ruining the crowd in front of me.
I just had one of those this weekend.
Did you really?
And I'm not going to say where because he was the nicest guy ever.
You will tell me off the air?
I will tell you off the air. But it was it just didn't work. It was just tough. A lot of crowd work, a lot of open rhetorical questions that then trains them to yell things out. Oh. And then I get on stage, and it's just like, it takes me half an hour to even get things organized.
Here's the beauty, Mike.
Yeah. Tell me.
When I was a feature act, and the first time I noticed it was when I opened up for a genius named Peter Galke.
Okay.
And Peter has since gone on to be a writer and stuff like that. And I remember watching him on television and going, this guy's a genius. And they asked me, do you want to open up for Peter Galke? And I couldn't wait to open for Peter Galke.
Yeah.
And Peter is a weird, odd comic.
Yeah.
Very strange, very different.
Yeah.
But a genius. And he would bomb some nights, and some nights he would be on people's shoulders. It was one of those acts.
Wow.
So I was trying to find my footing, and to this day, I do a lot of crowd work.
Sure.
And I did a lot of crowd work in front of him, but I was so stupid that I didn't realize that I'm sandbagging him.
Yeah.
By doing all this crowd work. And mainly, and this is for all, any young comic listening to this.
Yeah.
If you are a feature act and you're doing crowd work, you're an asshole. Because what you're doing is you're sandbagging the headliner in one of two ways. If the headliner also does crowd work, well, now you've taken that away from him.
You've taken most of the best, a lot of it away. Yeah.
You're taking it away.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't do crowd work, you're setting up the audience to do exactly what happened to you.
Yeah.
Where now they think that they can yell out, and then when you're not asking them questions, they're wondering, hey, that other guy was talking to us. This guy's just doing his act.
Yeah, exactly.
So stop it.
So then what should a feature act do who
I know. I don't know the answer to that.
Because you were doing this material when you were, but prior to you starting this new, you were doing material as a feature.
I was doing material and then eventually crowd work.
Yeah.
And I was doing crowd work and burying the headliners and being proud of it and going, oh, that guy couldn't follow me. Of course he couldn't. You're not being fair to him.
I used to think, I buried the headliner. And then now as I look back, I'm going, you were doing like hacky crap jokes that
that are always going to get road responses that are better than the headliner was more unique than you.
Yes.
But I was too proud of the fact that I got bigger laughs. But it's like,
But
yeah.
you don't know. When you're young, you don't know that. And then as you figured out, and again, it was this Peter Galki week that was like, I finally kind of figured it out. Now, the downside is exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
I didn't have a fallback. I still had to do what I was doing.
Yeah.
And
did Peter say anything to you about it or anything?
You know what happened?
Yeah.
I turned the corner.
Yeah.
And I heard him talking to the assistant manager and him saying, he's just the wrong guy to have in front of me. He's just the wrong guy. And I remember I took it personally. And he turned around and he goes, and I went, oh. And he goes, oh, he goes, it's not about you.
Yeah.
You're great.
Yeah.
You're just the wrong act in front of me.
Yeah.
And again, I probably still had my feelings hurt.
Yeah, I mean that's hard to hear that. No matter
especially
what.
when I was like, I'm working with Peter Galki. He's the wrong guy in front of me.
Yeah. My first weekend in Los Angeles, the Improv on Irvine had me open for Brett Butler, and I had a great set. And they called me and they said, we heard you had a great set. And I go, yeah, thanks. I thought it went really well. And they said, they've taken you off the show.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, they took me off the show. I guess it was kind of the same thing or whatever. But I always wish Brett would have just pulled me aside and said, we're going to have someone else do this.
Right.
But that's not how it worked.
Have you since run into her?
No, I haven't seen her. I don't even think she does stand-up anymore.
I think she's back doing it.
She's back at it?
I think so.
What's one of your favorite clubs to play in the whole United States of America?
I will name a handful, if I may.
Okay, please.
The Comedy Attic in Bloomington, Indiana.
Okay, never been there. Heard it's awesome.
Is terrific.
Yep.
Helium in Philadelphia.
Yep.
Helium in Portland.
Wow.
Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Your home club, if I'm not mistaken.
Have you been to since they've moved?
Yeah, love it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Love it.
Okay, great.
Acme in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
The Jukebox in Peoria.
Yeah, yeah.
I like Penguins in Cedar Rapids.
Okay.
Boy, there's one more that's great, and I can't pull it.
Well, you may pop into your brain. How often are you touring?
About once a month.
Okay.
In a perfect world, once a month. Every now and then it's twice a month, and that's only because like a club that's wanted to get me in or one that I've wanted to work will say, how about this week? And it's like, oh, I don't want to do 2 that month, but I will.
You will do that.
Yeah.
And most of the time you're here doing Never Not Funny, right?
Yeah. And then, for years I was with Conan.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to still have a development deal with them, so I still draw a paycheck and attempt to sell TV shows.
That's great.
And it's the greatest.
Yeah, that's the greatest. Well, Jimmy,
it's not great being told no.
No, I mean, but that's what we have to deal with, right? You get no a lot. How do you forge through that?
I think it goes back to being, I'm not the tallest guy in the world now, so I think it goes back to being a kid and asking people on a date maybe and being told no or trying out for basketball and being told no.
Yeah.
So I've kind of heard no more in my life than yes.
Yeah.
But we hear no a lot in this business.
Yeah.
We hear no 99 times out of 100.
Sure.
Which sucks.
Yeah, it's failure.
Yeah,
essentially,
it really is.
But how do I
get through it? I don't know. I think it's just kind of what I've been used to.
Yeah.
I'm so used to no.
No over.
I am. So that when you hear yes, it's kind of like, how do I react to this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Like I remember they asked me to. And this will probably be the most vulnerable you ever hear me.
Here we go.
They asked me to.
You can press record now, Aaron.
Oh, we started up.
Yeah, we started.
Oh, now he's going. Yeah, we get it. You had pizza. Now tell a story. Andy Richter had to miss a couple of days at Conan for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I was coming back from the gymnasium, and I received a phone call from Mike Sweeney, head writer, and he was he started off being funny on the phone call, and then he said, "Here's the real reason I'm calling.
Yeah.
Andy has to miss a couple of shows next week, and Conan wants you to fill in as co-host."
Whoa.
And it was like, this is the call I've been waiting.
I mean, that's...
Are you kidding me?
That's the life call. Right?
It's the life call.
That's what you think back on your life. That's the life call.
Right? And it's like, well, and so like, I got excited and then yet nervous.
Yes.
And then when I found out later that day when I got there and people were like, hey, that's great news. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And people were like, they had options. They, because the ESPYs were in town.
Sure.
So they thought about having a different
Of course they had. They always have options, though. But I mean, I love
You're
that.
right.
I love that some jaded comedy writer go tell him, make sure he knows there was options. Just let him be happy.
Right. You're right.
Let him be happy.
Make sure he understands what we're doing here. You're right. So, but in a way though, like, and by the way, that's the first time I ever thought about it that way, which is even funnier.
Yeah.
But I did feel like, they could have had Charles Barkley on for 2 shows, but they chose me.
Yeah.
John Hamm was in town. They could have had him. So, but Conan still wanted me. So I felt great yet nervous because it's a fine line. Like filling in for Andy Richter, you have to be funny so it warrants you being chosen, but not so funny that it looks like you're trying to take the guy's gig.
But you also only have 2 or 3 shows to kind of do it.
To kind of be...
You only have 2 at-bats, like you kind of need to get on base.
Yeah, so it was a weird thing.
It's a baseball metaphor.
I understand. I love the game. I play fantasy.
Right.
And I'll go to the World Baseball Classic. I like the game.
Yeah.
So I was in the dressing room, and again, this is the vulnerable part.
Oh, okay.
I can't say the word, but understand what I'm getting at. I'm in my dressing room, and right before the show, and I'm in my costume and my suit. I'm ready to go out, and I gave myself a little pep talk, and I looked in the mirror and I went, "You deserve this.
Yeah,
enjoy this.
Yeah.
This isn't. They're not doing you a favor.
Yeah,
they want you here. You deserve this.
I think that is warranted. It's nice for you to share that. I think every performer has had to have that discussion with themselves at some point.
I think I had never had it.
You never had it.
Even though, I've done, a gazillion late night shows,
Sure.
and I've, done the half-hour special, and I've done everything that you could want to do with the exception of David Letterman.
Yep.
And worked the road, and I've done it all.
Yep.
But there was something about, and I've done pilots, like you. I've hosted a gazillion pilots.
Yep.
I've hosted TV shows. This was the one that just felt like, wow, this is a big, Conan O'Brien's trusting me.
Yeah.
But why? I don't deserve this. But I had to remember, yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
You've worked your ass off.
And you all those other shit gigs, you mentioned 8 clubs that you love. There's 800 you've done that you don't love.
Yes.
All of that got you that.
Got me there.
That chance.
Like sucking in Traverse City, Michigan.
Yeah, sure.
And getting chased to my car in Saginaw, Michigan.
Right.
And just
always Michigan.
Sucking. I worked a lot in Michigan because I was from Chicago, and I had great shows in Michigan.
Yeah.
And Ann Arbor's one of my favorite, and Comedy Castle's one of my favorite, and Grand Rapids, and all of them. But you're right. All of those of just bombing miserably.
And traveling and waking up at 4 a.m.
Yes.
And all that. So how did they go?
They were horrible. But the point is this. No, they were great. They were.
Yeah.
It was, and I somehow managed to find that happy.
That's tough. That is
be
tough.
Jimmy Pardo, but don't try to be too much. I found it.
It's almost a harder position to be in than if they just gave you the whole show.
That's right.
Because it's like you got to find this little like be funny but less than Conan or
don't
whatever.
Don't look desperate.
Yeah.
Don't look like you're trying to steal it. Yeah. But yet be funny enough that warrants. Otherwise, why have anybody there?
Yeah. I mean, the internet's going to tell you that you probably suck no matter what.
Yeah, I'm sure some people gave me that, but
I mean, no.
I don't Google my name anymore. Thank Christ.
Smart. Jimmy Pardo, I've always been a fan of yours, and the fact that you're even sitting here chatting with me and sharing such a vulnerable—that's not even that vulnerable. That he gave himself a pep talk. It's a nice. That's smart. I used to see a sports psychologist when I played tennis, and they would have you write things like that in your own handwriting, like you deserve this opportunity. When the moment gets difficult, I will rise to the occasion. I mean, it kind of sounds crazy, like Tony Robbins shit, but there's like science behind it,
and that
probably helped you.
That science got you to what ranking?
864 in the world, $11,000 over 4 years. Jimmy,
that's still amazing.
It's still great.
That's still be proud of that. That's still amazing.
I say it on stage, and they laugh, and then I scream at them because I go, "It's literally an amazing life achievement," and I'm not like gloating. I'm saying you shouldn't laugh at that. And then it's funny because I'm mad at
you set yourself up for them.
Correct.
But I'll say this, not in your defense, but to be more proud of you.
Thank you, Jim.
To think of the guys that I went to high school with that you went, well, there's no doubt this guy's good enough to make the bigs one day.
Yeah.
And realize he never had a shot. Or to be on the golf team like I was and go, this guy, Bill Teese, is the greatest. I think it was Bob Teese. Bob Teese, the older brother. Bob Teese is the best golfer I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He could be a pro, and then I realized he couldn't come close to being a pro. So for the fact that you became a pro.
Sure. Well, it's like when you go watch AA baseball and the guy throwing, the pitcher is amazing. And you're like, how is this guy still not even making it through there? But and that guy was the Bob Teese. Bob Teese?
Bob Teese.
Yeah, I mean, he was better than Bob Teese. It's so competitive, and comedy is similar. Comedy's similar. I'm probably ranked 864 in the world in comedy.
Seems high.
It seems high. I'm going to have the comedy rankings. Comedy rankings are coming out next week on this podcast. Where can everyone find your tour schedule? Never Not Funny. Where can all happen?
JimmyPardo.com.
There we go.
And then at Jimmy Pardo on Twitter. And then, of course, nevernotfunny.com is the podcast.
There we go. Please listen, you guys.
That's it?
That's it. We're done. We're short. We keep it short. It's not like yours where you go there and you got to clear out the whole afternoon. You know what I mean?
Sounds insulting. You're lucky to be a guest.
Thank you, Jimmy Pardo.
Thank you.
That's Jimmy Pardo, ladies and gentlemen. Man, he's just a buzzsaw, huh, Aaron?
Absolutely.
He's a buzzsaw. He's a great buzzsaw. He comes in, he looks like a buzzsaw. The picture we took, he looks so intense. It's hilarious. He's just one of these unique people that's in comedy, right?
Yeah.
The voice, the references. He's always got these specific dates and names. Bob Teese, whatever. That's Jimmy Pardo, you guys. Didn't really have a worse birthday, but he shared some insights on birthdays, and you could tell that maybe he lost some birthdays to the booze. I bet that may have happened. Well, I wanted to get into that, but you could kind of tell, no, we're not going there. He's one of my favorites. Please check out jimmypardo.com and listen to his podcast. It's been 700 episodes. It's super, super fun. If you enjoyed that interview and you got a little bit of taste of Jimmy, listen to his podcast, and it's like references and rants, and it's just fantastic. It's a great, great podcast. This is the Worst Birthday Podcast, you guys. You can check us out at worstbirthday.com. You can see the videos now on our YouTube page. Just go to worstbirthday.com. It's all there. If you do some Amazon shopping, go to worstbirthday.com, click on the Amazon banner. That helps us out. As always, all of my live dates are at michaelkosta.com. If I sounded a little bit off today, it's because I just arrived from LAX. We get to Detroit. We spray the airplane with de-icer. We go wait for 2.5 hours on the runway, go back to the gate, spray ice shit on it again, fly to LA, land in LA, wait for 80 minutes in LA. So I'm a little off today, but nothing stops the Worst Birthday Podcast. Every Thursday, guys, we're on the All Things Comedy Network. This is Michael Kosta. Please email me, michael@michaelkosta.com. Also, I forgot, Aaron, if you want to be on this podcast, if you want to share your worst birthday with us, call 909-52-WORST, 909-529-6778, and you get 3 minutes to record your worst birthday, and we will share them to all the listeners and with the guests. 909-52-WORST. Hey, this is Michael Kosta. Thanks for sharing your worst birthday.